And we're live
We are live.
and
Love
alive.
it. Live
We
and
are
alive.
live and alive. Hey, everyone. We're here to talk about dating. Surprise, surprise. But we have a new format that we're testing out.
We
This will
do.
be kind of fun.
I'm
Yeah.
excited, but we are going to get to some really good topics about green flags and what to look out
hmm
for on a first date. So make sure to stay with us if you're interested in that topic. But we're going to try something new at the beginning.
Yeah. We're going to keep this going. We're going to keep it fast and flowing. We're starting with a segment called Wait, What? I think we talked about
Where
this
did this
before.
start?
I forget now. We joked about this on a previous episode.
Because we had that moment. We all have those moments that someone says
You're
something
like,
and you're just like, what?
wait,
Wait, what?
what? Where Julie and I will individually bring in a wait, what scenario or situation or stat or story, but we have not told each other what we're bringing in, and we're going to get each other's reactions.
Everyone does this at brunch, right?
If you're not, you should be. It would make
It's
your
a new
brunches a lot more
game. New
interesting.
game. Yeah.
So, do you want to go
Okay.
first?
Sure. Sure.
Okay. We
Okay.
need a little jingle. A wait, what?
Do you
Wait,
want to be the singer?
what? Wait, what?
UA's singing debut. Okay.
The last
It's
time you'll ever hear
funny.
that.
Nope. I got it forever. Okay, the funny part of this is that we were just recording an intro where we were talking about how we share a TikTok account
Uh-huh.
and it's become very wedding themed. And you always like, okay, I guess Julie's in the algorithm. So
Yup.
the one that I found was you've seen this trend, right? It's like, I'm bored. Tell me the worst thing that's happened to you on your wedding day. I'm talking tea, not just a guest wearing white. People have
Okay.
done these like, "I'm bored, tell me the worst
Yeah,
dating story." Yeah. So I wanted to read 3 of them because I was just like, "Holy shit."
in the
From
comments.
Yeah, in the comments of
Uh-huh.
what they left. So here's one. I was the photographer at a wedding, and while I was in the bathroom washing my hands, the mother of the groom and the best man came out of one of the stalls. Her husband was on the dance floor.
Dang.
Another one. Got our gifts stolen. A bunch of random fights. The bartender was secretly charging people and giving kids alcohol. My grandma went missing and there was a fire. Still married though. High five.
What? Her grandma went missing? Wow, it's like all the signs not to get married.
We're just like, what is happening? This has never happened at weddings I go to. Like, okay, last one. My mother in law mourned her son like it was literally a funeral. She cried the whole weekend and made it all
Wow.
about herself. Mother son dance? Question mark. She cried so hard her eyes wouldn't even open. All caps. Embarrassing.
Oh, wait.
Which is the worst of
What?
those three, if you had a guess?
Oh, the second one. The second one was
The
just too much
grandma
happening.
and a
Too much
fire? Just like,
Yes, and their
what?
gifts stolen. That's just too many things happening in one
Just like,
session.
where was this wedding and what was going on?
Wait, now I wanna pivot my wait what, just to be in
No,
the
you
wedding
get
theme.
I think you should keep your original.
Should I keep my original?
Okay, give
Okay.
us both, give us both.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I can't knock at the original, give us both.
Well, I wanna keep okay, this is a wait what for the wedding theme because it remind me of the story. My dad went to my cousin's wedding. I wasn't there. I don't remember why I couldn't attend, but went to her wedding, gave a toast, and he was the last toast of the night. It was a kind of a big deal. And then he toasted and he said, "Everybody raise a glass to UA." He said my name.
You know what? There was one of those in the comments. Someone said, like, the dad kept saying, like, her name instead of her sister's
Oh my
or
gosh,
vice
I'm
versa, I can't
so
remember.
embarrassed.
I
I
think you have
like
told me that
have
story.
I told you that
You
story?
did, yeah.
My cousin is the sweetest. best angel in the world and she didn't care, but I can imagine if someone was not as sweet as her
Yeah,
or understanding, they would have flipped out. As
that's
the
a good
last
wait
speech
what.
of the night,
Yeah,
I'm like,
they have
"Dad."
to bring someone else. It's like when we get a question at an event and we're just like, "Wait, we can't end here."
Yeah,
Come
no,
on.
we're not ending it here. No, definitely not.
You're like, "Anyone, come on up."
He's still so embarrassed by that story. He won't let
Oh
me
my
tell it.
god.
Like, but
Well, here it is.
my mom tells it though.
Here it
She thinks
is
it's
on air.
hilarious.
On a YouTube live, not edited.
So I'm like, "Dad, see, I don't need to get married because you already toasted
You already
me."
gave the speech. Okay, what's your original? Because I wanna hear that one too.
Okay, the original is a story is a headline I read, and I had to read it a few times. It's a story out of China. This guy quit his job so he can take care of their son. So that he and his wife just had a kid and they needed more childcare. So he quit his job to take care of this his son, claims that he got postpartum depression, and then
Okay.
divorced his wife.
Wait, what?
Wait, what? Yeah. Wait, what? So the story is he thought he was doing this noble thing by quitting his job to help take care of the kid. And while taking care of the kid, he claims he somehow experienced postpartum depression and was so depressed that he decided to divorce his wife.
Okay, you could justify anything. That's all I can say. Like
I guess.
convenient theories for yourself to get out of a marriage or something. Like it just like if or this person honestly believes this and I'm not really sure what reality they're in.
I thought postpartum depression was from you carrying the baby and
Yes.
now the baby's out of your body.
It's not like years and years and years later.
Right. I didn't think that if you didn't carry the baby, can you still experience postpartum depression? Yes, you can experience sleep deprivation and just exhaustion, but and then use that as an excuse to divorce his wife. Wait, what?
Love it.
Segment.
Okay. We let us know what you think. What is your wait what? I actually, this is a little bit of a shift, but I wanted to read one of our Instagram posts actually that's been getting a lot of traction on Instagram, which is really nice because
Mhm.
people keep sharing it. I feel like we have a lot of posts that build momentum, but not as many shares as this one. And I
Mhm.
think it's because it really hits home. So the quote is, don't let someone get all the benefits of your love
Uh-huh.
without the responsibility of taking care of your heart. That hits, right?
It's hard.
I
It's very
mean,
hard.
who's been there? I have. That's
Everybody.
for sure.
Oh, I just felt this collective sigh.
Yeah, it's exactly what you need after the wait what.
Like, whoa, that's a reset. I've noticed the posts that do the best on our social media are the ones that give you a clue into whether the person's right or not for you.
Mhm.
It's like, if you're feeling this, then you're probably not with the right person. If you're too
Yeah.
much,
Yep.
if you're being abandoned in this way, you're probably not with the right person. Yeah, I feels like a lot of people may be going through that.
So I wordsmithed that one a little, but it was from stuff I had seen. So it's not
Mhm.
like totally original. And I think though there's something about like giving your love and not having your heart protected. Like there is
Yeah.
something that parallel of just like how we give and give and give to the wrong people sometimes
Mhm.
when they don't give a shit about us.
No. No, and they don't see your value or your worth at all. When someone else could be what was it the one I heard the other day? It's like you want to be with someone who thinks you're a fucking miracle every
Yeah.
day, right?
I mean, we're gonna do an episode actually that's coming out in a couple weeks about like how like p- what to do, like how to not waste time when dating because I think
Mhm.
everyone's like biggest fear is wasting time, and a lot. I mean, not all of this will be this topic, but I think for me a big one was spending time with the wrong people.
Yeah.
If I look back on it now, I'm like, I mean, again, you have to go through what you got to go through, but I definitely would have met someone a lot earlier if I wasn't investing in people that just weren't giving back.
Yeah. But also just recognize that you needed to go through that
You need
in
to go
order
through it.
to
Totally.
appreciate who you have today. Part of learning who's right and wrong for you is to do all the wrong things first.
Absolutely.
And you know,
Absolutely. So, which actually brings us to our question, which is a good one,
mm,
is I'm so sick of looking for red flags. What green flags should I look out for on a first date?
yeah. I'm so glad we're looking at green flags. Finally, we need it.
So, if you were to look for green flags on a first date, what would some of them be?
I think someone confirming plans. is-
Mhm.
but then I have to check myself. Is that just basic human decency or is that a green flag?
Sadly, in dating, it's a green flag.
I know. I know.
I think it is basic human decency, but somehow that gets lost in dating.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. What do you think is a green flag?
Um, I think it's just like the presence, right? Like, do you feel heard? Do you feel like they want to be there? Because sometimes you can feel like
Mhm.
someone really wants to be anywhere but there, and they're just kind of phoning it
Yes.
in. And I've actually been on dates where it doesn't always correlate to whether they liked me or not. Like, sometimes they would
Yes.
actually ask me out again. I'm like, "Wait, what?" Again,
Mm.
the "Wait, what?"
Wait, what?
I'm like, "Wait, you enjoyed that date? Because that wasn't the vibe I got." And I think it just shows, like, the ability to be present with someone, to make them
Yes.
feel seen, and I think that's so important in a relationship, so of course I'd wanna see that on a date too.
Yep. Yep. Definitely. And just the way they treat you. Is it with respect? Is it with admiration? Like, I've definitely dated people, been on dates with people who did not treat me with respect even on a
No.
first date. And they would blame it on the alcohol. And I'm like, you can't blame this on anybody but yourself.
So I think one of the sexiest things that's happened on a date that I can think back on, it's like, again, like, when someone just, like, goes for it, like, not in the
Mhm.
sense that they, like that came out wrong. They don't, like, go over
Okay.
boundaries, or not like that go for it, but, like, for instance, I remember just, like, someone putting their card down at the bar.
Mhm.
So, at the end of the date, there was no like, "Ooh, should I pay? Should you pay?" It was like taken care
Yes.
of. Maybe that's what it is. It's taking care of things. It doesn't need to be financially. It could be financially, but also it could be just like stating what they want without games or any BS. Just being upfront and being like, "This is what I'm looking for."
Which leads me to my biggest green flag, conviction.
Yes.
Having conviction, knowing where you want to go, giving options still, but saying these are the three places I would recommend. Knowing what time you can go. None of this like, "Oh,
Yes.
maybe we can meet up, between 6 and 7." No, give me a time. Let's be precise about it. And then having conviction about who's paying. Like, I love that. It's, like,
Mhm.
established from the beginning. We don't have to worry about it when the bill comes and everybody's reaching for their fake purse. Like,
Yeah.
yes, I get that you got it. That's leading with conviction. And the conviction of, "I wanna see you again. Are you free next Tuesday?" Yes.
I mean, that was a huge green flag for me with my fiance when he asked for the date on the next
Mm,
date on the date. There was just like no room for miscommunication or questioning if they were into you, and the consistency, the fact that like I knew it was going to
yes.
happen. And also like this isn't on a date, but like shortly after, when you text them, they aren't leaving you hanging for hours on end.
Yes.
Of
Yes.
course, they don't need to be, like, glued to their phone, we get it, you have a job, but you're, like, responding at a reasonable time. That to me is a good green flag 'cause it just shows that, 1, they want to engage with you, they're
Yeah.
excited about you, and that they're respectful and, like, polite.
Yes. Respecting your time. That's a green
Yes.
flag. If they are running late, they will let you know. if they need to reschedule,
Oh my god,
they'll let you
yes.
know. There's no standing you up, there's no making you guess. I used to be that asshole that would make my dates wait because I always thought like, "Oh, if they I'm worth waiting for."
You also used to be really late.
Oh,
I
I
feel
used to
like
be
you've
very late.
gotten better at
Oh,
it.
yes. Well, especially with remote, but dates, I would intentionally show up 10 to 15 minutes late because I was like, "I'm worth waiting for. They should be waiting for me." What an asshole! Because I wouldn't even communicate that. And, like, nobody ever called me out on it, but I'm sure they all walked away being like, "This girl sucks."
What would you have done to hear the reaction of your dates? I feel like I kinda wish I, like, heard it. In the
I
moment, it
know.
might have been tough,
I
but
know.
I just feel like, we've done
I
so
was so
many
stubborn at those moments.
we've done so many dating experiments on our podcast where one person has, like, a totally different view of the other and the date. They were
Mhm.
like, "Best date
Yeah.
ever," and the other person's like, "I never wanna see that person again."
Yes. Yes. Definitely. I know. I would have liked to hear that feedback, but I get all the feedback with my partner now. There are no qualms. It's like, "Listen, I don't like it when you act in this way. It makes me feel in this way." I get it. Like, I'll receive that feedback. I get it. So I'm no longer late.
That's a green flag, though, that they can share in a way that's
There.
vulnerable, that's not, like, accusatory and, saying you're a terrible person or whatever, but it's, like, coming from the heart of, like, "This is how it makes me feel." Huge green flag.
Huge.
I
Huge.
think another one, like, I don't know, I just feel like as someone now that's been in a relationship for a while and watched other relationships, I still think accountability is so important
Mm,
in the long run. So I would say, like, if someone can talk about a mistake they made, or if they make a
yes.
mistake in the moment and just own it instead of like deflect, that's a huge green flag.
Especially when talking about previous relationships, and it's not just
Yes.
pointing
Oh
fingers at
my
the ex.
God. Yes.
Those are the worst.
The worst. The worst.
What's another green flag we can think of? I think another green flag is how they treat other people. Is it with respect? Is it with dignity? Is it like I like to see someone, yes, treat the wait staff with kindness, but I also like to see someone who will send food back if it's not what they asked for. Like it's actually both. It's having integrity.
Well, you can do that without being an asshole, also, right?
Yeah.
So that's like the true test.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think too, there's this line. It's funny because we have in our book, we have the three worst dates. So
Hmm.
one of them is the date review. One of them where it basically feels like you're on an interview where someone's like peppering you with questions that feel like, they want a certain response to see if you pass the test to be their potential partner. So
Yeah.
there's that, or to get to a second date, even. So there's that one. There's the therapy session where people just like deep dive on all their past traumas and the challenges they're going through, hoping to be vulnerable and connect. And then there's the solo act, which is like the performance space that it's like, I need to list off all my resume and tell you my best stories so you think I'm the most interesting person you've ever met. And I think on the other side of all three of those is actually the green flag. So for the solo act, it's giving the space to hear
Hmm.
both sides and being okay if there's an uncomfortable silence and not feeling like you need to fill it and be overtly performative or anything like that. The therapy session, there is the line of being vulnerable and going a little deeper, but also knowing it's a first date and recognizing maybe the person doesn't deserve to know your whole life story right now. It's not to
Right.
say they can't eventually, but you can be a little discerning and not be like, I'm going to like tell every last thing about myself and still be vulnerable and say, like, you're excited to be here. You had a really good time, like little pieces of vulnerability. And then the date review, it's not peppering someone with questions, but asking thoughtful questions, not
Yes.
expecting an outcome of their answer and like marking it in your little book, yes or no, but being curious. Why did they respond that way? What can I ask as a follow up? all that to me, curiosity, huge green flag.
I think we get this habit of going on this red flag hunt. We talk
Yeah.
about it in our book. So we go on these dates really looking for people's faults and their icks. But knowing that there are these green flags, it's nice because now you can start looking at those too and pointing them out. Because I think most people have the intention of giving out as many green flags as possible on these dates, but
Yeah.
we sometimes overlook them because we're just like, hey, what are they doing wrong? We treat like every date
Right.
like a test.
Right. And it's not like that you should, ignore major red flags that end up being detrimental to a relationship. But the culture we're in today calls everything a red flag. So it's again
Yes.
finding faults and being picking people apart. None of that is good dating energy. I would much rather someone go in seeing the good in someone, recognizing though they've only been on one date and I still don't know this person that well, but I like what I see, and I'm willing to go on another date.
Here's a request to all of you listening or watching right now. Tell us what is a recent green flag that you saw on a date. You can comment on our YouTube channel if you're watching live right now, or you can go into our ratings and reviews on Apple Podcasts. Just leave a comment there. Give us 5 stars first, but then tell us what is a recent green flag you experience, and we'll start reading them out loud in future episodes.
Love that. And on Spotify too, you can leave a comment. So many ways. Wherever you are, you can leave a comment. We'll put a poll on Instagram too.
Yeah.
360.
Yes.
Getting
Green
all the
flags.
green flags. Okay.
Fun.
So, our last little segment here, we on our Instagram, we have these text to send, I
Mhm.
guess, posts. I don't know how to describe it. So basically, it's like a scenario, and then we show a text script that we've used before or find helpful. And these always get really good reactions. So we thought maybe we would source some ideas and kind of brainstorm on the fly. And then if you're on YouTube Live, you can share yours in the comments. Again, you could also share them in the comments on Spotify, all the places. So we're going to use this scenario for our first time here.
Okay.
So the scenario is, how do you say you're interested in going out again? Let's say you
Mhm.
had this date full of green flags and you want to see them again.
UA dating UA would have spent hours trying to craft the perfect text, which always looked like nothing. I would just not send anything and just wait for them to make the first move. But it is so simple, like what you just said. How do you express you want to see them again? Hey, I had a great time. I'd love to see you again. Wow.
I know. Even just saying, like, I mean, that's like really forward, right? And
Yeah.
it's not a big deal at all. But I think back in the day, I was conditioned to believe that I should never send like a thank you text or anything because my value would go down. I would look
Yeah.
too needy. I would be like, just putting
Too
myself out there.
available.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I feel like if you send a text that was like, I had a really good time last night. It was so great meeting you. I'm sorry, that is not too needy. Like
No.
you're being again, a good human being.
Yeah.
Basics. But why do we
Basics.
think that? And we had a post like this on Instagram, and one person wrote, "Thank you for saying this. I'm in this other Facebook group where
Yeah.
people are like, I would never do that. Why?"
Yeah. She's like, yeah, we were taught to how to chase, not to show interest. Yeah, I don't know where the dating game started. Whoever started them was a terrible, evil person. But even talking about courtship back in the day, courtship was to let someone know that you are interested in them and you keep courting them. It's not chasing, it's not the chase. Somewhere in the middle, the chase became the thing to focus on. And when it comes to the chase, we're taught to not show any interest back at all. And it's just like, it doesn't make any fucking sense.
It doesn't. And I feel like anytime I did that, that I just like wouldn't reach out, it, like, never went
Of
anywhere. I mean,
course.
sometimes, of course, they would reach out. It wasn't, like, always, but I remember, like, this one guy, I was, like actually, same guy that put down his card that I was talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
earlier.
Uh-huh.
I was, like, really into him, and I remember, like, telling a guy friend of mine who was married, and he's like,
Yeah.
"So you reached out and told him you had a good time?" And I was like, "Oh my
No.
god, you clearly
Never.
haven't been in the dating scene. You don't know anything. I would never do something like that." And he was so confused. He's like, "Wait, so you're telling me you like this person, but you're saying you would never, ever reach out to them? What? Wait, what?"
Wait, what? It's the same with my friend Maria, who, again, I have her I have consent to blast her on Dateable, but she is so into this guy she's seeing right now, and she showed me their text exchanges, and if I didn't know she was into him, I would have thought she hated him. I would have thought that she was trying to get rid of a stalker because that's how she talks to him. And I just looked at her and I was like, "Girl, you like him? Like, do you think he thinks you like him through these text messages you're sending? There's absolutely no like, it was so great seeing you. I want to see you again. I had so much fun." No, it's like, bro, bro, I'm here. You down? Like, what?
I mean, okay, even if you tell someone, "I
Ugh,
had fun. It was great to meet you." Let's say they're not into you.
yeah,
Like, who cares?
who
Like, what
cares?
did you actually put out there? It's not like you told this person, like, "I wanna marry you and I wanna be with you forever." You told them you enjoyed the night.
Yes. Yes, because you would do that with a friend.
Right, we wouldn't think twice about sending it to a random colleague that we went to coffee for. It'd be the thing to do to follow up after.
Right. Oh my gosh, last night was so fun. Or like, what an awesome conversation we
"Thanks
had
for
last night.
taking me to" yeah, like,
Yeah.
"Thanks for the coffee. It was so great to meet you." Why would that be weird in dating? But
Oh,
we
we have
make
it
it
all
weird.
backwards.
We
We
make
have
it
it
weird.
all backwards. It is so bad. I don't know how many times I've sat with a friend who had a great time on a date and is now freaking out because
Yeah.
there hasn't been a piece of communication since the date and they want to see this person so bad. And how many times I'm just like yanking out my hair going, "Why can't you just send a text?"
I know. Again, we're gonna be doing a deep dive on basically, like, how not to waste time in dating, and all this is
Right.
gonna come up.
Right. Yeah, you'll feel called out, but in the most loving way. But in the
Yeah.
most loving way because we've all done it ourselves.
Yes. We're saying that as people that wish we got those hours back of our
Right.
lives. We weren't above it. We definitely were not above it.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah? Are we good? This is it?
I think so.
Do we like that new structure? We want to hear your feedback. We thought it was just like a fun way to bring in some other elements
Yeah.
into
We'll
our
see how it
show.
goes. Maybe
Right.
some episodes we'll do all of them again. Maybe we'll throw 1 or 2 in. We'll see how we're feeling.
It's a surprise in every episode. That's why you have to tune in.
I'm gonna take the wait what to brunch this weekend.
You must, you must. Give it as an assignment, though, so people can think about it beforehand.
That's a fun date idea.
All right, we're gonna wrap up this episode. So fun seeing you all, and have a great rest of your week.
See you next week.